Watching the games yesterday, watching the Iowa game, watching everybody going crazy for Caitlin Clark and the excitement, the passion of the people. 39% of the people voted, were betting on South Carolina to win. When they came in undefeated, they were the favorites going through, and only 39% of the bets were on South Carolina. And in the end, the better team won. Good afternoon there, Josh. The better team won, which is, listen, I was rooting for South Carolina. I was tired of hearing about Caitlin Clark. I was tired of hearing about this team. But you know what? After thinking about it, after watching the game, Caitlin Clark had people who had no interest, never talked about women's college basketball. We're talking about it. We're watching it. We're having conversations. They're having conversations as who's on the Mount Rushmore of women's college basketball, which to me, there's a lot more people. And Richard Deitch, who is a media guy, said that she's one of the all-time greats, one of them. But, I got to go with Breanna Stewart. You got to win a title to be considered one of the greatest. But think about what she did. She broke the record of Shamika Holdsclaw for most points in the NCAA tournament. I saw 491, I saw 492. Also, she had the most assists. She had the most three-pointers made. She broke Shamika Holdsclaw record from Tennessee, who actually won 3 natties when she was at Tennessee. 3. And she broke that, most three-pointers made, most points, most assists in NCAA tournament history. Over 3,900 points, almost 4,000 points in her career. She did it in 5 games less than Shamika Holdsclaw. Congrats. She went to back-to-back national title games. Nobody remembers Vivian Stringer took them to the Final Four many moons ago, Iowa. There was a resurgence. Now, Lisa Bluter is the coach at Iowa. She has the most wins in women's Big Ten history. She just went to her 2 straight runner-up. She wants a title, but, you can't, every other school, and I talk about all the time, like Yankees, it's win or nothing. I talk about with the Carolina, it's win or nothing. You know what? You can't knock these teams. They will be looked back forever. Caitlin Clark will be looked back forever. And, there's been so much talk about her. And I took it more as, it was a black versus white thing. CNN put up after the game, they put a picture of Caitlin Clark and they changed it to the South Carolina team. I mean, you were minusculing what they did, 38-0. She's the first African-American coach, Dawn Staley, to take a team to an undefeated season. They did amazing things. And you know what? And UConn did that 6 times undefeated. That was the 10th women's basketball team to go undefeated in a season. And she, so South Carolina did it once. Gino Auriemma did it 6 times. And, with him, people like talking about, nobody forgets you, dude. You've won 11 championships. You made your 23rd Final Four. I don't think people are forgetting about UConn, especially with all the injuries this year. And you came within a final possession of playing for another natty, which is, you made a Final Four. And Paige Beckers, it's interesting. Carol today was like, because she puts, Taurasi, Sue Bird, Breanna Stewart, Mandy Moore, they're all on a pedestal. And she thought Paige Beckers did not stand up. I looked at her. She goes, listen, this is the great ones have to step up. I said, you know what? She didn't have a good game. She didn't have a great game. I don't know. She wasn't taking shots. She was passing the ball. How well she played against USC was how she kind of just fell in the background against Iowa in the Final Four, in the semifinals of the Final Four. She didn't play a great game. She had 17 points. That wasn't a great game. That's a game where I expected her to take over. Caitlin Clark, first player ever to get 30 points in 2 straight championship games. Now, she didn't shoot great. She did not have a great game. She had 18 in the first and basically, 5 in the third quarter, 5 in the fourth quarter. She got the ball stolen from her. People said she doesn't play defense. One guy said that about her. I guess I never watched her and looked, is she playing defense? I think I was more. She got a team that I felt she carried them. She did. I mean, she scored. And I was talking to PBM. I was talking to Mike about this, and he said she choked. because she had 4 turnovers. She also had 5 assists. So she scored 30 to 75 points, assisted on 5 others. So basically, she scored almost half the team's points. You got all the scoring basically, and bench scoring, 37 or 38? Nothing was the bench scoring in the game for South Carolina. And I always want to call them USC because it just sounds cooler. And listen, USC, now Juju Watkins will bring some, but this is the real USC because the Trojans haven't done shit in a very, very, very long time. And so let's be honest there. They really haven't. And yeah, bench scoring was crazy. So Caitlin Clark, hey, listen, okay. 10 for 28, 5 for 13 from 3, 5 for 6. She had 8 rebounds, 5 assists, no steals, no blocks, 4 turnovers, 30 points. You had basically 4 players scored 69 of the 75 points, no points off the bench, and South Carolina got 37 points off the bench. 37, and then you had a freshman, Tessa Johnson, career high 19 points. She only went 7 for 11, 3 for 6 from 3. And how about Cardoso? 15 points, 17 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks. She affected the whole game. She played her ass off. She came here at 15 years old, couldn't speak a lick of English. Went to Syracuse. Wait. That's a story. Came here, didn't speak a lick of English. Started out, transferred to South Carolina, and wins a natty. Couldn't speak English. All the girls, some guy wrote something which he said they're all undereducated, they can't speak English and all this stuff. You think that's racist? You're a fucking douche, dude. You're a douche. There's no place for that. You know what? These girls are busting their freaking asses out there playing, and I didn't like that comment, so I reported him. I said, "You're a fucking douche," which he was. And and also Gabby Marshall deleted her social media due to hate comments she received following an offensive foul she drew against UConn. I don't know. I'm not the one that made the call, so I'm not sure why they're mad at me personally. There's no place for that. There's no place at all for that shit. It's disgusting. And Dawn Staley, she was crying after the game. It was a long season. And, people were not even talking about them. All they were talking about was, about Iowa. And at the end, she thanked Caitlin Clark for what she's brought to the sport. She's brought more, and it helps everybody. Like Tiger helped golf, like Magic and Bird changed basketball, while Jordan changed basketball. That is something that is a very positive thing. And now people might go to WNBA games that wouldn't think twice about it. Listen, if she gets people, draws people every place she goes with the fever, which, think about this. You want to talk about what's kind of crazy about college basketball? This is crazy. So, okay, they just played the championship game, right? This is from Matt Allentuck. 8 days, Caitlin Clark and Camila Cardoso will be drafted in the WNBA. 4 weeks later, they will play their first professional games. 8 days. Now, 7 days, they will be drafted. 4 weeks later, they'll play their first professional game. No time to rest. Welcome and see you soon. So they just finished this exhausting season, which they're doing a documentary on. And all these women, now I'm talking about other women have had time off. And I just saw Deja Kelly is entering the transfer portal. And Coach Cal is now going to Arkansas, which I think is a blessing for Kentucky. I want to talk to Brandon about that. And Brandon said some stuff, and I want to get into that. But, listen, he hasn't been very good. There was a report that in 2022, he wanted a new center, like a basketball center, that so we're talking it's 15 years old, a facility that was 15 years old. He wanted a newer facility. And Brandon said something about that he cared more about the players than he did about the team. And I read something from Julius Randle's wife, said her mother was sick. She was in a small town in Kentucky, and she needed medical attention. Julius Randle called Patino. There was a helicopter flown to the grandmother. Grandmother was taken to a hospital, and Julius Randle's wife said that she saved my grandmother's. That you can say whatever you want, but Coach Cal saved my grandmother's life. And if I guess if that's listen, you can love the kids, but if you're not getting results, it's about winning. Kentucky basketball, it's a religion, and now they're saying, could it be Billy Donovan? Why would he want to go back and deal with this transfer portal shit? They want the coach from Scott Drew from Baylor is a guy they want who just got signed a new contract. They have a huge new arena that they just opened in January. They're Nate Oates, the coach of Alabama, and maybe even Rick Pitino they bring back, which is, he went to Louisville, won a championship at both those places. Is that a possibility? The coach at BYU is a former Kentucky basketball player, but he hasn't won even an NCAA tournament game. Bruce Pearl, there's a bunch of guys in this, and Calipari's going to make like $8 million a year, and they have Tyson money. There's no professional sports in Arkansas. I think it's a blessing in disguise. They don't have to. There's no what's it? The payout. They don't have to pay anything to get him to they don't have to pay anything to let him go. He'll go. They'll save like $33 million. They don't have to let him go. And now he's going to go to another SEC school. They can meet at least once next year. We don't know who's going to be the home or away team for Kentucky, Arkansas. But good for Coach Cal. And he could win a natty. And I think the odds went up with him going from Arkansas to from Kentucky. And they're saying this is the downfall of basketball, NIL. What is it? It's here. It's happening. And one of the 5-star McDonald's All-Americans, Aaron Bradshaw, is entering the transfer portal. So 5-star McDonald's All-American, average under 5 points a game. Maybe him and Bronny James can go to a school together. And someone said that Caitlin Clark. I think Cullum said it to me that Caitlin should play Bronny. The winner gets to go to the NBA. The loser has to go to the WNBA, which I think is a stupid fucking meme, and I don't think it's funny because I think that's a disrespectful to Caitlin Clark, who has done everything. I mean, listen, her range is crazy. I know she was taking some crazy shots at the end, but she was frustrated. They were getting beat. The better team won. And through 3 quarters, I mean, that's what Dano told me. I was like, so true. They can't make a goddamn layup. These women cannot finish. They can't finish at the hoop. They're just throwing the ball all over the place. It's kind of crazy, I mean, it's bonkers. It really is. It's yeah. And she did. I love what Dawn Staley said. This was the thing that I really loved. I sent this to people because I watched Taurasi and Sue Bird, and I really love what they had to say. And this is Taurasi.
This country has a fascination with young female athletes, and then it goes away, which I don't understand. Whether it's the young gymnast, the young skateboarder, the young pitcher, and then it's like once you become a professional, it all goes away. But that's the pinnacle. If you're the best in the pros, then you're the best in the world. And I think people have to still remember that when it comes to women's sports. This country has...
it's not... That was perfect. That it's not... They just play in college and they disappear. I was watching yesterday with Taurasi and Sue Bird. 2 goats in college and the pro. 2 phenomenal. Sue Bird won at every level: high school, college, pro, Olympics. Taurasi, college. I don't know where she went to high school. I don't know, but I know she was probably like the number 1 recruit that year. College, pros, Olympics. She's still competing, playing at over 40 years old, playing and thriving in the WNBA, and wants to play in the Olympics this summer, which she's going for a 5th or 6th gold medal. I mean, unbelievable. So when these 2 women talk, I will listen to them, and I think they were fine. I think they were good. I don't think I need to see Jason Sudeikis on the show with them. And Snoop was on for 4 seconds. I don't know where he to go. I figure, maybe he could have given a little more time. And they had on Robert Roberts. But to hear them talk, and, they were talking about the learning curve, but they did say something very interesting about Caitlin Clark. They talked about that her motor. That's something that she has, and it's not going to go away. It's not like she is going to have that drive. And Diana Taurasi said that there are women who come to training camp, and they're just, there, and they're not trying to get better, and then improving their game and everything. And, and then they just poof. Whereas I still remember there was West Virginia, there was a girl in the Liberty who had a weight problem, was a scoring machine at Louisville. They went to a Final Four. She was Native American. And I'm blanking on her name, but Yeah. So, and Shauna, yeah. What's her name? What was her name? Liberty player. And she just put on a ton of weight, and she was gone. She was gone. Yeah, Shawnee Schimmel. Shawnee Schimmel was phenomenal. And she just kept putting on weight, and she was made an all-star team, and then poof, 3 years she was gone. Gone. And so much talent. But it takes more than that. It takes so much more than that. And I'm not concerned that Caitlin. I mean, they're going to want to knock her around. You're going to be playing with women. You're not playing with college. You're playing with women now. And I'm really kind of curious what's going to happen. I'm excited to see how she's going to play at the next level. It's going to be very exciting. Yeah, I mean, South Carolina the last 3 years, 108-3. Camila Cardoso, fifth player last 25 years with a 15-15 title game. Third title overall. Yeah. 30 plus 37 in the third period was USC. They outscored them by 9 in the second half. I talked about Clark, Cardosa, Tessa Thompson, career high attendance record over 18,300. Yeah. Iowa had made one Final Four, and the fans should have a right to be satisfied, even though it's two runners up, that they should be satisfied with what they accomplished, that they should enjoy this, that, hey, this was a hell of a run. Yeah, they'd like to have won, but they didn't. But think about that, man. Think about that run. And think about USC. Think about South Carolina. Dawn Staley was a phenomenal player. They were getting blown out 10-0 at the beginning of the game. Didn't get nothing, didn't get rattled, didn't get anything, and they just kept on going. I read an awesome thing. This I loved. I told this to Michigan. I said, there was a lot of good stuff. Too much stats sometimes, but the stories. How about this? Yeah, they wouldn't be there without her. Raven Johnson went viral last year after Caitlin Clark waved her off and left Raven Johnson unguarded. Raven Johnson said the star for South Carolina said she watched that game over 100 times and admitted the moment hurt me. This year she was the primary defender on Clark for the majority of the game and played lockdown defense. So when Raven Johnson was covering Caitlin Clark, she scored 7 points, 3 for 11, 27% shooting, 4 turnovers forced. People don't forget, man. People don't forget. And I'm just saying this. I love this competitiveness. I'll tell you. I do root for. I really thought USC went in as the underdog in this game. Everybody wanted Iowa to win. I did not want Iowa to win. Hey, Sam! Nice to see you, Sam. Nice to see you, Saul. Yeah, I love that people are talking about basketball, about women's basketball. I think it's awesome. I think it's so awesome, and that. And people like not an expert, but people like giving their opinions and talking about this, and now they're talking. She will be considered. She had an all-time great career, one of the all-time great career. Went to two straight finals, runner-up 2 years in a row, beaten by the better team both times. LSU more athletic, South Carolina more athletic. Also, Iowa couldn't make the open shots when they should have. Would it have mattered? I mean, also the discrepancy on the free throws was not, disproportionate. Is that the word I would use? Yes, disproportionate. The free throws were, okay, so they both 9 for 23, Iowa, 8 for 19, South Carolina. Free throws, 16 for 20, 9 for 7. They missed 8 free throws, and they still won the game by 12. Now, rebounds, 51-29. That's something that Caitlin Clark brought up, that the free throws was a big, yeah, listen, they did. And Cardoso had a phenomenal game. She really did. And points in the paint, would they have 30 points in the paint for South Carolina? Yeah, they dominated. They were the more physical team. I thought the foul calls weren't, hey, you know what? Consistency, I would like that it happened. No, it did not happen. But, it happens and you move on from there. It's a game. They're going to get better. They had the ratings. I was trying to find the ratings for today's game. I could not see it. If anybody saw ratings, I kept going, what was the ratings? What were the ratings? What were the ratings? Yeah. Yeah. Solar eclipse. I'm not watching. Yeah. I think of Bonnie Tyler the song, and Saul sent me the Dan Band from Old School. I mean, they're hilarious. That was hilarious. I mean, every time. And I asked Harris, "Are you watching?" He goes, "I saw it a couple years ago." I said, "Is and Michigan goes, you're going to go outside and watch it?" I was like, "I'd rather do my show. I'd rather do my podcast. I've been wanting to do this all day." And I said, "Let me get the podcast out, and I'll go from there, and then we can, So I was like, "Yeah, I'm not partial eclipse." Somebody sent me a video that was not of an eclipse, and I was like, "Ew, that was not what I was expecting." Yeah, Calipari jumped from plus 7,000 to plus 3,000 since he took the job at Arkansas. Yeah, I do. I want to get on. I want to get on Brandon and talk about it, but I think it's a good thing. I think I think it's a great move for both teams. There was no buyout. They didn't have to buy him out for $33 million. He can just go and let him go there and see what he can do at Arkansas. I said, look, maybe they'll take him to a national championship. I don't think so. And maybe some of his players will come with him, maybe. And there's the portal. And look, South Carolina redid the whole goddamn team. There was a totally new starting five this season. Totally new starting five. Had to bring in all new players this year. And she got it done. And they went undefeated. And they were the best team from start to finish. And the best team should win. And, you love to root for the underdog. But Iowa was not on the same level as them. And 37-0 off the bench, you're not winning any games. When that's how much depth they had. And I was saying stuff about Lisa Bluter, and I apologize. That was my ignorance. I was like, well, she's not the same. She was a very good coach. She got this team to two. First of all, getting there last year, and there was so much pressure on this year, and to get them back again. And I'll tell you, they didn't look good at the beginning of the tournament, Iowa. Iowa did not play well. They could have lost to West Virginia. They didn't look good against Holy Cross. It was a rough go for them, and they just kept winning and winning. They lost the UConn game, and they came out like barnstormers against South Carolina. And South Carolina just, okay. They came out, took their shots, and just kept coming back. And in the end, hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. You can't win them all, right? You cannot win them all. How about the Rangers? Dude, how about the Rangers? How about the hockey team? Rangers win yesterday over they were down 1-0. Michigan thought it was going to be a 1-0 game. They ended up winning 4-2. Their 27th come from behind win, most of the NHL. The 53rd win, franchise tying of the 2014-15 team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals against Tampa Bay. That team also had 113 points, which was the most in franchise history. The Rangers have 110. Stars have 107. I think the Bruins have 107. They're at the Isles tomorrow, and Bumbles is going with his buddy who was a partial at UBS. He said if the Isles, right now it's the Isles and Rangers would meet in the first round, and if that is the case, he said he's going to a game at UBS, and I said, I'll go, and I'll wear my Rangers jersey. I'll go with them. So they play. They are now 53-21-4. Montreal is 29-36 to each. 70 points. Panarin, how about this? Panarin, 46 goals. He had a 4.9, a goal and 3 assists. When he has 3 points this year, they are 14-0-0. 14-0-0 this year. 46 goals, 69 assists, 115 points. Yager in 2005-2006 had 123. Panarin is having a season. 115 points. Mika got his 25th and 26th, a power play goal, one of them. Laffy got his 27th, an empty net, 27 goals. Laffy is having a season. And Kreider got his 38th, also a power play goal. Yeah. Lafreniere is getting it done. Thank you, Saul. Getting it done. Getting it done. I mean, Lafreniere, I want to look up his stats from last year to this year because he is having a season. Yes, and Josh, that's a very good point. Can we do it in the playoffs? I hope so. Dude, I hope so. I really do. So Lafreniere, 27 goals, 29 assists, 56 points. Last year, 16-23. He has 11 more goals, 6 more assists. His plus minus is actually a little lower, +2, but he is having a much better season. I mean, 56 points. I mean, dude, he put the work in. Can they do it in the playoffs? They're doing it now. Yes. And that's the thing. Great. They could, they'll break the most regular season wins ever. Nobody gives a shit. And that's, listen, I love that Iowa play their asses off, but nobody remembers the runner-ups. I mean, they will in Iowa, and they'll honor the teams from 22, 23, 23, 24, probably forever. They'll have a 30-year reunion, they'll have a 20-year, they'll have a 10-year reunion, and they'll talk about these years. But people remember champions. They do. And Breanna Stewart said, to be a great, you got to win. And people say, no, you don't. I go. Greats to me, to be an all-time great, you could be the greatest scorer, whatever. That's why LeBron 4 and 6 in finals. Jordan 6, and it just sounds different. It just sounds very different. Yes, great player. Great. Love her. Caitlin Clark. Change the game. Could change the game forever. People are going to want to see these games. We'll see what happens. And Caps lost to the Senators. They're 0-4-3 their last 7. How about Frank Frantrano? I looked this up. Someone put career highs, 32 goals, 23 assists, 55 points. He had 10 more goals and 4 more assists. Last year was his high with the Ducks this year. Highest, best season ever. He was a Ranger for a little bit. But having a good season with Anaheim, who sucks. And Kucherov is just amazing. 43 goals, 136 points for Tampa Bay. Guy's just he's approaching 100 goddamn assists on the season. Now the Knicks. And Rob sends me something from Damian Lillard that how great he is. I said, dude, do you need constant you need that affirmation? Because I feel like people who put up those tweets, it's just fucking stupid. We know how good he is. 43 points last night. 35, 35, 43 last 3 games. He is all NBA this year. But to put up a tweet like that where Damian Lillard, and I was saying that, hey, what has Lillard done in the playoffs? Now, he hasn't had a lot of help around him. He's made a Western Conference Finals. He's never really taken, and he's played great in the playoffs. Never had the talent around him. But I don't think I need a tweet saying a player constantly talking about Jalen Brunson. If you don't know that Jalen Brunson is here and having a season and having an all NBA season, then I don't know where you're under a rock. But the thing is that the Bucks and Orlando have tiebreakers over the Knicks. So Dante had 8 3-pointers. Yeah, I take Lillard. But they're totally different positions. Why would you take Lillard over Randall? They're both injury prone. I don't know if I would, dude. I don't know. I got to be honest with you right now. I don't know if I would take him. I don't know. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I just don't know if I feel the same way. They're both older. I mean, Randall's younger. And what have the Bucks done, man? The Bucks are playing like shit. I mean, they're 1-7 their last 8. They've lost 4 in a row. I mean, I saw some crazy ass stats. I read some stuff. I put it on the chat, and the Bucks, dude. The Bucks have done things that they said. The Bucks are doing things that no other team has done. Like a stat, you're like, wait, did what? Listen to this: 30-13 under Adrian Griffin. Doc Rivers, they're 15-17. This is the latest in the season. The team has lost 4 straight games outright as favorites since the Lakers. They were favored by 4 last night, 14.5 over the Raptors, 12 over the Grizz, 12.5 over the Wizards. Bucks are the first team in the last 30 years to lose 3 straight games outright, right, as double-digit favorites. They've been favorites in the last 4 games, and they've lost all 4. 88 teams. Who was that? That was from Evan Abrams. This is from Jason McCallum. 88 teams in NBA history were over 500 when playing 3 straight games against teams that were at least 25 games below 500. Here's how they did. 88 teams. 46 teams went 3-0. 34 went 1-2. Went 2-1. 46 undefeated, 3-0. 34 2-1. 7 went 1-2. The Bucks are the only team ever, 1 out of 88 teams to go 0-3. 0-3. And then Rob brought up, Giannis at the end of the season. You're like, dude, he wanted this. It's on him. So if he's pissed off and wants to go somewhere else, so be it. But you're the one who wanted all this. You weren't happy with the coaching situation. You didn't want this. You didn't want Adrian Griffin. He wasn't getting. Well, I'll tell you, you got Doc Rivers, and the ship be sinking, as Michael Ray Richardson would say. The ship is sinking. The ship has sunk. And right now, it is ugly city. And the Knicks, so they're 2 games back from the 2 seed. The Knicks are right now, they're currently fourth. Third is the Magic. They have the same record, but the Magic have the tiebreaker. The Bucks they're really 2 games back because the Bucks have the tiebreaker. Fifth are the Cavs, who started 18-2, and since then are 28-31. From 18-2 to 28-31. That's not working either. They're fifth. They are a half game back of the Knicks at fifth. The Pacers are a game and a half back at 45-34, and the Sixers are 2.5 games back at 44-35. Even though Tyrese Maxey, what do you have, 52 last night in an overtime win over the Spurs, and actually sent it to overtime, and they won it in overtime. And Wemby had some crazy stat line that was like, Wemby does everything. Listen, I am not denigrating him at all. That boy can play. That man, boy's a bad word. He's a child, a young man. Let's just say young man. That young man can play basketball. Yeah. So Maxey had 52 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. Wemby had 33, 18 rebounds, 7 blocks, 6 assists, and 5 for 10 from 3. He made a 3, and they're all just gawking at him from the bench. He's doing things, and he's only a rookie. He's 19? How old is Wemby? Wemby is 19? Is he even 20 yet? Wemby is, let me look up a Wemby age. Wemby age. He is, I'm sorry, he just turned 20. The kid's 20 years old. The kid is 20 years old. Take that. Let that resonate for a second. Yeah. And the Magic and Knicks, so the Magic and Bucks actually play 2 times this week, which is going to fix the tiebreaker. We'll see how that goes. Knicks 72-48 in the second half yesterday. DiVincenzo had 26, 8 3-pointers, 8 for 11. And I said this to Rob, that they got it. Now, this is what they have. OG's back. Shot like shit. But he had 4, rusty. Of course he's rusty. But he played 4 steals. What'd he play? 38 minutes. 2 for 10, 0 for 5 from 3, 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks. And incredible second half. Brunson had 43, 6 and 8. Hardenstein had 18 and 10 double-double. Bogdanovich, who I heard wasn't playing, got 15. They got fined. Mitch Robinson played on March 27th, and they said he was out. He played, so they got fined $25,000. Hart at 7, 9 and 9. Giannis at 28, 15 and 8. Dame at 23. Portis 24 off the bench. What's up, Bumbles? Their magic number for a playoff is 1, and tomorrow night they play at the Bulls. Okay. Hey, listen. Knicks are playing some very good basketball. Hopefully, guys are saying in the chat, in the Company J's chat, that they're going to win the championship next year. Kind of like PBM was joking with me. He says this year the Jets are going to average 40 points a game. They're going to give an average of 3 points up a game. And so I said, well, then Breece Hall is going to have 3,000 total yards. Aaron Rodgers is going to throw over 6,060 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson will have 2,000 yards receiving. I said, I hope it happens. But the problem is, you got a guy who played 4 freaking snaps last year with Aaron Rodgers, and you just don't know. You just don't know. He said, most talented team ever. I said, most talented team ever? I said, what about the 69 Jets? What about the 2 teams that went to NFC Championship games? What about the Mud Bowl against A.J. Dewey? That was a pretty good team in the strike-shortened season. They had some good teams. And to say that this is the best team ever in April is just bullshit. And he said, I'm joking, whatever. But still, to even talk about it, can we play some games? Can we start? You're overhyping it. There is only one way to go. It is down and crashing badly. I just think it's way too soon to get this crazy about shit. It's just too soon. It's just like way too soon for this. Like, no. Hell no. And what I see this? Oh, yeah, Bucks. 1-6 the last 7, 4 straight losses. D'Angelo Russell said, I felt like I was held back in Minnesota. Dude, great. You played 4 years there. I was like, okay, good for you. And they lost last night to Minnesota. Minnesota got only for the second time ever clinched a top 3 seed for the NBA playoffs. So they have that going for them. That's a good thing. Yeah, and UConn fans have forgotten how hard it is to get to a Final Four and win. And in the mix for 6 is what Dan Hurley says. I just don't know. I can't. I'm kind of. That's the thing too. They said is Klingon and Edie fit into today's NBA when you have big immobile, big men. Well, you got to be able to go out on the perimeter. You got to defend the three. Got to be able to move well. Do they fit into the NBA now? I don't know. That's what they even said. Edie might go in the second round. I mean, they're saying Klingon could go in the first round. Klingon, to me, watching sometimes, it's like a bull in a china shop. I just feel like he's like crashing to everything. It's not a fluid game. But I'll tell you, Hurley is a hell of a coach, and he is building a hell of a team, and he's got a team there, and he's a really locked in head coach. Like he found his calling. He may not have been. He had problems when he played, after he played, when he was in Seton Hall. Maybe felt the pressure of being Bobby Hurley's son and his brother, all the success he had in college, and should have had success in the pros if he hadn't got into that fucking horrific car accident. What could have been, but Dan Hurley is a hell of a basketball coach, and I'd be shocked if they didn't win it tonight. And we got the two best teams playing for a championship. Am I excited for the game? Not really. I mean, cool, but do I really care? I was more interested in watching the women than the men, because they took the narrative over. They took it over this year, and not to take anything away from the men, but there's really nobody out there. There's no star power, star power like there was with the women this year. I mean. And it's a good hands. Juju Watkins is back. You're gonna have Fudd back with Beckers next year at UConn. Iowa's bringing in five top 100 recruits. South Carolina is going to be very good. Angel Reese is gone, but Kim Mulkey will restock the LSU team. There is a lot of good teams in women's college basketball that are going to be back next year and play some very good NC State had a very good year for the women. Went to the Final Four. It's going to be exciting. I'm curious what's going to happen. The men, there's no stars this year. There's nobody you're excited about. There's no big names. There's a lot of players out there, but there's no, it's good. There was a lot of parity this year. A lot of changing the number one ranking went back and forth, and you had some bad injuries, and Kentucky didn't do well in the tournament. You didn't really have any Cinderellas. The one was NC State, but it was still from a Power 5 conference. So it kind of took away from it this year. It was kind of like, one's getting in. And then you had some ones go down, and Carolina fizzled out. Bama, very impressive season, especially after, last year where they had the star. What's it on the shit? I got to look up the Brandon. I always forget his name. Brandon Hornets. Brandon, what is that his name? Brandon... who did everything. He was Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller was a hell of a player last year, and to come back and then make a Final Four, the first Final Four appearance ever for Alabama basketball. That's a story. NC State, he was going to lose. Probably might have even lost his job if they had made the NCAA tournament. And then after they lost in the semifinals to Purdue, right? Did they play Purdue? UConn played. Shit. Who did NC State play? Right? Did NC State men's basketball? They lost to Purdue. Yes, they said they should fire the coach. Some dipshit put that, and people like, you're gonna fire Kevin Keats after making the Final Four, after going on a run where they finished the regular season, won 5 games in 5 days in the ACC tournament, and take that run and go all the way and beat Duke in the ACC tournament and in the Elite Eight, and get to the Final Four. You're going to fire a coach. That's a hell of a season, man. They had a better season than UNC. To me, for what NC State did was phenomenal. UNC. This season was a failure. A failure. You can't be number one seed and go out in round of 16. You just can't. They stunk it up. That was it. Done. But they lost to a team that went to the Final Four, and that's a good. You want to lose to a team that gets to the tournament, and I know that my buddy Lanker is still in the pool, and my cousin Hal is still in the pool. So, hey, Dominic has joined us. What's going on there, Dominic? And so we'll see. UConn Yankees 8-2, tied for the second best start since 2000. They've won all 3 series this year. They've swept Houston. They went 2-3 in Arizona, 2-3 at home so far against Toronto. Stanton at a grand slam. Thank God. The Yankees recap is going crazy. Like, I told you, win the World Series this year. Volpe 3 for 4, 424. They are 8-2. Toronto fell to 4-6. They host the Marlins tonight. Jesus Luzardo versus Nasty Nestor. The Marlins are 1-9. Yeah. So and I'll tell you, go to a game. Today's the day. Mets 2-3 from the Reds, and Lindor 2 for 5. A home run. He's still hitting .088. They're at the Braves. Julio, and I bash his last name, Julio Teheran, who was just picked up by the Mets versus Charlie Morton. They are 3-6. The Braves are 5-4. But hey, they're winning games, and winning games is a nice thing. I saw this from Stephen Stevenson. The Rangers last year, Texas Rangers, held to 1 hit in 1 game all of last season. All their games, they had 3 or more hits. They lost 3-1 to the Astros yesterday, who are only 3-7. And Ronald Blanco, 6 hits, 6 innings, a hit, 4 base on balls, 4 Ks. He had 5 no-hit innings. So after pitching a no-hitter, he almost did a Johnny Vandermeer where he went 5 innings of no-hit ball. And it was the first time since, Hal sent me this one, so I got to give Hal props for this one. That he said this to me, that this is from OptiStats. Ronald Blanco of the Astros is the only MLB pitcher in the modern era to throw 15-plus innings and allow no more than 1 hit over his first 2 starts of a season. So congrats to him. But yeah, I mean, I put the TV on. I was like, holy shit, could he go for 2 in a row? That would have been crazy. Now, listen, we all fuck up. We've all driven drunk. But it wasn't even the drunk driving with Tavondre Sweat. It's that he got a DWI arrest. They said, how is this going to affect his draft? I feel like, he made a mistake. And I said it to Hal. Hal sent it to me, and he goes, Austin is Uber City. I mean, everybody does an Uber. But the question is, how much did he have to drink at 366 pounds to be impaired? Thank you, Pro Football Talk. How much did he have to drink? 366. Think about that. 366 pounds. How many drinks? But that's the thing. I know big people that are lightweights. Especially getting ready for the draft, dude. That's where you just let someone drive you. And Kyle Duggar got a 4-year, $58 million, over $32 million guaranteed. 2 years ago, he had 3 interceptions. He returned for pick sixes. He had 1.5 sacks, 2 interceptions, 7 pass defensive, forced fumbles, 6 tackles for loss, 5 quarterback hits, 109 tackles, 71 solo. Listen, you want to lock up young guys, and Gerard Mayo came in and he wants to get this team going. I'm like, where are these quarterbacks going? That's what I'm like. The NFL draft is what? Is less than 2. When is the NFL draft? NFL draft is 2 weeks from, is it a week from Thursday? NFL draft. It is, when is the draft? April 25th. Oh, so okay. So it is, today is the 8th. So we still got almost over 2.5 weeks. Yeah. Right after Passover, right after my mother's birthday. I'll be watching, and especially that first round, because everyone wants to know where these quarterbacks are going to go. That's going to be interesting. Anthony Richardson said he is on a mission this season after playing 4 games last year, 577 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 136 yards on the ground, another 4 touchdowns. And Gardner Minshew got them within a series of making the playoffs. Well, hey, he's on a mission. Dude, you got to be careful running that ball, because I get nervous when you run the ball so much, you're going to get the shit kicked out of you. That's the thing. So we're going to see what happens on that front, and got to stay healthy. That's the thing. The mission is to stay on the field, to stay out of the trainer's room. That's every quarterback. It's Daniel Jones, everybody. The goal is, and these running quarterbacks got to realize that the guys hitting them are bigger and fat and weight. Usually, I mean, he is a big guy, but he's being hit by very fast, very big men. And sometimes it's better to just slide and live to play another play. That's what you got to do. You just got to take the slide. You get a couple yards. You don't got to knock through everybody. Eventually, that comes back and beats you in the ass. You get a hit to the head, the concussion. You're out a couple games, and the team needs you out there. So be smart, go down, and live to play another play. And Kelly Slater, 11-time world surfing champion, is selling his $20 million house, 6 bedrooms, 8 baths, 101 feet of secluded shoreline in Oahu. So I figured if the guys, we got a collection going, that we could all, raise the money. Josh has that Cayman Islands account, and I know my buddy Harris has some money somewhere, and Bill, and I got some. I think RK's got money. He's been working a lot lately. Gumbo Chef, I know some of my buddies have money put away. I got a shoebox. I got some change jar. It's got to be at least $200 right there. I can contribute, and maybe we could all get together and we can, have our little shore house and have like parties in Oahu all together. I mean, a man can dream, can he? A man can dream. He can. He can try. He can dream. He can try. Now, this was, Coach Cal. They were talking about, I was talking about buyouts. Nate Oates, $18 million. Scott Drew, $4.5 from Baylor. Bruce Pearl, $7. Jay Wright, maybe. That's another one. They said a lot of it, there could be Tyson money, Tyson chicken money. They could get him there. And Brandon said to me, if this is real, there's no way he can come back, even if things fall through with Arkansas, which they won't. Yeah, Josh, I wish too. The AD stuck his neck out and kept him. And now if this doesn't happen, the fans will despise him. Fuck you, Cal. That's what he said. I hope he goes out and fails miserably. And he said he keeps recruiting 6 or 7 freshmen a year and worries about the kids first. I feel like I don't mind him worrying about the kids. I think, the kids he's getting aren't really turning out to be as great. These McDonald All-Americans are, that these ratings sometimes blow up and they get this NIL money. I mean, these kids are all driving Porsches and everything, and it's not translating to the court. I mean, they lost Kentucky lost not a good season, dude. I mean, they did not have a good season. They haven't been good for a couple of years. Yeah, I mean, he's been bad for a couple of years now. Yeah, the Tysons have reportedly offered $7.5 million a year and pledged to provide a minimum of $6 million a year to NIL, with incentives up to $10 million. He won a Natty in 2011, Final Four in 2011, 14, and 15, 12 tournament appearances. They lost to St. Peter's, number 15 seed, 2022, number 14 Oakland this year. I mean, they lost. That's a thing too. You got athletic director Mitch Barnhart confirmed he would be back, which people weren't happy about. So now they don't have to pay him the $33 million. Yeah. And both fan bases are happy. They really are. Yeah, he was never coming back. And also, it's a clean slate now for Kentucky. Louisville brought in Pat Kelsey from College of Charleston. And John Wooler put this: SMU not even an ACC school yet, and already causing chain reaction havoc in the SEC. So SMU fired the coach. They got Enfield to go from USC to SMU. Musselman then left Arkansas for USC, and now Calipari is going to a 5-year deal supposedly to SMU, which I thought was kind of interesting. And his son, Brad Calipari, is leaving Vanderbilt to become his director of on-court player development. And he lost his CEO of the team that went to UNC this past year, which they said wasn't a good thing either. So, hey, and so I really want Brandon on to talk about it. I mean, I think Brandon overall is happy about this. I would take that he's more happy than not. They haven't been good for a couple of years. Could be worth up to $8 million, John Fanta said. The amount of NIL the Razorbacks donor base is committing, the level of support is massive. That's the thing he wants. They're gonna, as I said, they're gonna play once at least this year. He would become the 5th SEC coach per Pat Smith since 1989 to coach a different SEC team in consecutive seasons. Don DeVoe went from Tennessee to Florida in '89. Eddie Fogler went from Vandy to South Carolina in '93. Tubby Smith went from Georgia to UK in '97. And Mike White went in 22, went from Florida to Georgia. And Coach Cal and Rick Pitino, only coaches to take 3 different teams to a Final Four. Coach Cal took Massachusetts, Memphis. Remember they had the whole thing with the runner-up, which they should have beat Kansas because what they say that what's his name went to school, didn't take his SET. What the hell? Who's the former Nick? Former Bull, I'm blanking on his name. That's what I read. And so he took Memphis, the Minutemen of Massachusetts. He took Memphis. Who's the point guard who blew out his knee? Coach Tibbs called him. Guys, help me out here. What's his name? Derrick Rose. So that was Memphis. And he took Kentucky. Pitino took Billy Donovan, Providence, and he took Louisville and Kentucky. Only 2 coaches take 3 different schools to a Final Four. And they're both coaching. They were both off at new schools now. Well, Pitino, I don't know if they're going to bring Pitino but that's something that could happen. Yeah, he was upset about the Kraft Center. Supposedly, which opened in 2007, antiquated in the arm race of college athletics. I don't know. Yeah. And they lost NIL mastermind TJ Beesner to North Carolina last offseason. On March 14th, Kentucky launched an NIL initiative with a goal of 1 million. Less than a month later, at roughly 50,000. And of course, Kentucky is in the SEC. Listen, I think fans were tired of him, and especially you lose to St. Peter's last year, you lose to Oakland this year. They were not happy. They weren't seeing results with the team. It's goodbye. It's a good break. Listen, it's like he's got a new girlfriend, lost the weight, go to new school. Let's see what you can do. I mean, I don't think you do shit, but hey, more power to you, right? I mean, now this got me excited. And listen, I know it's only April, but Michigan sent me this. And wait, did I talk about this? Yeah. Heaven. This is heaven. This is from Field Yates. Starting Christmas Day, NFL game. That's a Wednesday. Thursday, December 26th, NFL game. December 28th, NFL games. That's Saturday. Sunday, NFL games. Monday, NFL games. Tuesday, NFL games, right? Is that what it is? Oh, Billy Trimble. Okay, so wait a minute. 25th is a Wednesday, right? So Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Monday, you got football. Tuesday is December 31st, college football quarterfinals. January 1st, college football quarterfinals. You got NFL. Think about it. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 8 days you got football. And there's going to be bowl games on the 27th. But think about that. That's heaven. That is heaven. Heaven to me. Heaven. And Caitlin Clark had a good comment. What'd she say? She talked about, I don't get offended when people say they haven't watched women's college basketball before. You're a little late to the party, yes, but that's cool. I agree. I think I like that a lot. I thought that was great. Yeah. Lose their entire starting five to the draft. Go 38-0. Justin Tinsley said this. With a natty, really is one of those accomplishments you can't undersell. That's like 100 levels past incredible. David Aldridge says, Caitlin Clark is great. Camila Cardoso is great. Iowa is great. South Carolina is great. Bluter and Dawn are great. This title game is great. Paige is great. Isaiah James is great. Juju is great. ESPN Studio Show is great. The tournament is great. Can we all stop hating on whoever we don't like for whatever reason and just enjoy the incredible basketball? Yeah. And Jamel Hill said, Iowa, nothing to be ashamed of. They won their conference, beat the defending national champs, a legacy program in UConn. Yeah, they beat LSU. And they totally outplayed LSU this year. A legacy program in the UConn they beat, only to lose to an undefeated team that has been in the Final Four the past 4 years. That's a spectacular season by any measure. And Caitlin Clark said, to be honest, this year was probably more special than last year to be back in this position and come out here and battle. I mean, South Carolina, just so good. There's only so much you can do. It was the most bet women's sporting event ever at BetMGM per John Ewing. Caitlin and Coco had set a record for the most bet event on Monday, Elite Eight, broke it Friday, Final Four, shattered it yesterday. And think about Nancy Armour said that Cardoso was wearing a brace or wrap on the knee she injured less than 48 hours ago, and she got the most outstanding player. Tessa Johnson career high, second chance points, which is better team won. Back-to-back undefeated regular seasons. Yeah, Camila Cardoso moved to the U.S. from Brazil by herself at age 15. By herself, no family. She didn't speak English and lived with her AAU coach. She committed to Syracuse, then transferred to South Carolina and won a title. She had a career high 17 rebounds yesterday and just won another title. How about that? Came to U.S. on her own, no family, lived with an AAU coach. 15, you grow up very fast on your own. And they talk, the girls don't speak. Well, I would like to come at 15 to a country where I don't speak the language, pick up the language and play and get the job done. Yeah. Everybody needs a case to shut the fuck up. Because that's, Yeah. And Iowa was 10 for 22 on layups through three quarters. A lot of them. Yeah. Yeah, I thought they were inconsistent with the foul calls, but hey, what are you going to do? Last year, they were 31 from 3, South Carolina. This year, much better. She's the 5th coach to win 3 or more national championships. So Gina Auriemma has won 11. Pat Summitt 8, Kim Mulkey 4. Her and Tara Vanderveer, 3. And Debo Samuel, next season, Kittle has to wear a South Carolina jersey because Debo's South Carolina Lady Gamecocks beat Iowa in the final where Kittle went to school, which I thought was hilarious. And the most prop bets there were a lot of prop bets. Iowa scored the first 5 points. They didn't win by 1 to 5. They did score the first 10 points. So if you picked up to score the first 5 and first 10 points, you won. Overtime did not happen. They didn't score the first 15 points. Abe Gordon said, "Is this the most anticipated women's sporting event since?" Is it anticipated? I feel like a lot of people are late to the party. Was it anticipated or just? I mean, there have been great games in the past. I mean, you had that whole UConn Tennessee rivalry going on. I mean, Gino or Emma had phenomenal teams, and he won 11 titles. So I don't know if I agree with that 100%. What's up, Chief 42X? How you doing there? You want to talk some sports? Bring it on. Let's talk about something. So I didn't know if they were comparing it to Everett versus Martina. Yes, they played last year in the Final Four. I remember when UNLV beat Duke in the final. Then the next year they played in the semifinal, and Duke beat UNLV. That was big. Yeah, I just think it's been the Caitlin Clark tour all year, and she lived up to the. I mean, she didn't win the championship, but she took her team all the way there to the promised land. Just lost there. Yeah, it was great. It was great. Yeah. And Caitlin Clark, because gives her opinion on the GOAT topic after Dawn Staley says Clark needs a championship to reach GOAT status. But then after the game, she was nice about it. She said, "Listen, thank Caitlin Clark, what she's brought all of us, all the eyes to her." So afterwards, I mean, she only could do what I can do. She said, Caitlin, she said, "I don't want my legacy to be, Caitlin won X amount of games or Caitlin scored X amount of points. I hope it's what I was able to do for the game of women's basketball," which is what she is the GOAT. In that respect, the ambassador for the game, the people she brought to the game, unbelievable. Unbelievable what she's brought to and it will help everybody. She said, "I hope it is the young boys and young girls that are inspired to play this sport who are wearing her jersey and to do whatever they want to do in their lives. For it to come down to 40 minutes and for me to validate myself within 40 minutes, I don't think that's a fair assessment." Yeah. Diana Taurasi said, "Reality is comedy." Yeah, when she gets to it is. But hey, it was great. And there's Robert Little was saying that she could be in the NBA. I don't think she's going. And Becky Hammond and her both could be coaching the men. I was talking to Mike PVM about that. I feel that both of them could coach the men. And he said, "Well, men are sexist." No. They would get their winners, like Pat Summitt, would get those players to play. It wouldn't have anything to do with men and women. You can coach. I'm sorry. They can coach. They both know what they're doing. They know what they have a system and everything. It will work. They're that good. Yeah. So I disagree. I feel like great coaches are great coaches. Doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. And Dawn Staley says the number one prerequisite when recruiting a player after talent is a relationship with their parents. If they respect their parents, they're going to respect us. And I saw a video this morning, of the locker room of Colorado, and Deion Sanders it was a mess. There was shit all over the place. I guess they're moving stuff. They're getting new facilities, or they're doing upgrades or something. And he says, "I know you don't do that shit in your own house. And if you do, he said, we're going to practice today. And if basically said, you don't practice today, you're done. If I see you're not hustling or you're not giving your all or whatever." He was really pissed off. And he said, is anybody not getting enough reps? He goes, "Raise your hand." He goes, "That's what I thought." He goes, "I love you guys." He goes, "But we're going to practice a couple hours." And, but basically told him this does not work at all. This is not how, this is now, you don't leave your shit all over the place like a mess. And he looked at everybody. And, I don't know if I need a video of that, but he chronicles everything, Dion. But I do like that was like, no, that's not playing here. And, Colorado is a lily white state, and he's got a lot of black African-American people working for men and women. And I think that's fantastic. They had the most applicants, African-American applicants ever, 68,000 total, but they had a huge rise in African-American students wanting to go to Colorado, which is a beautiful campus. Michigan's brother lives out there. Boulder is awesome. It is a great place. I would love to live out there. I went out there. Every time I go there, I could live here. I could work out every day, walk in the mountains and everything. That'd be cool as shit. Yeah, yeah, and this is great. So Dawn Staley came out on the floor an hour or so after her team won the national championship to do one-on-ones with local media and reporters. She's been out here for 30 minutes and answered every question, which Teresa Walker said this access is rewarding not only for your local media who travel, but your fans back home. That's the thing, too. This is all for local TV stations in South Carolina because they don't have, I mean, yes, they play in South, wait, no, they don't even play. There is no professional team in South Carolina. There's the Carolinas, the Panthers, but the Panthers play in North Carolina. I mean, they're a professional. That's a fantastic thing. You know what? She is a phenomenal coach. Phenomenal coach. Yeah. Oh, and there was some over the back plays in the game, and Diana Taurasi said when they because you know the women practice against the men, and Taurasi said there was a guy over the back Zach they called him. That's what she called him. Never got called for a foul. Never got called for a foul. She goes over the back Zach. She said it right away, like she was still she's been at college a long time. Over the back Zach. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah. Angel Reese was really happy for which she should be. Yeah, and so this Scott Doctorman wrote an article about it on yesterday about Iowa, and he said one afternoon in February he was an assistant Jan Jensen's Iowa women's basketball. She's the assistant coach. Office knock on the door. Clark asked if she could interrupt for a moment. She had a handwritten card and a signed T-shirt for a little girl whose cancer returned and gave it to Jensen to pass along. Clark did that all the time without fanfare. And Jensen said they should go out of here being sad that it's over, but really happy that it happened. They're going to lose 65% of their scoring and 60% of their minutes. Now they'll get 5 newcomers, including 4 who are ranked. I'm sorry, there's 4 ranked among top 100 recruits. Lisa Bluter, over the last 10 seasons, she ran her offense through a pure point guard, Sam Logic, a small forward, Ali Disterhoft, a Naismith winning center, Megan Gustafson, who is now playing, she's going to play on the Aces this year, a fiery combo guard, Kathleen Doyle, and Clark. She's coached 4 players over that span who scored 2,100 career points, Clark Gustafson, Monica Zanano, and Disterhoft, with Clark and Gustafson recognized as consensus National Player of the Year. They said, and Lisa Bluter gets left. Oh, great coaching conversation. Winningest coach in Big Ten's women's basketball history. Shows only Bob Knight and Tom Izzo among all coaching league basketball coaches. 884 career victories, ranking 10th in NCAA history. Over the last 5 seasons, she has qualified for the Elite Eight 3 times and the national title game twice. Yeah. And Caitlin Clark said, I think people don't love us for our wins. I think they loved us for the way we carried ourselves every single day, for the way we played for one another, the joy we played with, the passion we played with, the competitive spirit we had, the way we high-fived and celebrated our teammates' successes. That's the reason people love turning on Iowa women's basketball. Yeah. Crazy, right? Crazy. I mean, that's awesome. I love that stuff. I love it. And you know what? And she's going to be in the WNBA before you know it. I want to go watch. I want to go to some games. Carol said she'd go with me. Yeah, and UConn's going for their 6th natty tonight. Yeah, in the mix for 6. This is the first national title game for Purdue since 1969. Connecticut's a 6.5-point favorite. Best point differential in an NCAA tournament. UConn's at 125, which would be the record since 2008, which would be the most in 2008, and Purdue's at 98. And Zach Edey has 6 consecutive 2010 games in the NCAA tournament, which is a record. Yeah. David Robinson had 5. Larry Bird, Blake Griffin, and Shane Battier had 4. And they haven't played a 1 or 2 seed in the last 11 tournament games. And DJ Burns said to Zach Edey, bro, excuse my language, you big as hell. Thought that was great. Yeah. Yeah, great. Yeah, and Kevin Skarbinski said, first thought on Monday night, good luck to Purdue. Not sure the Boilermakers will make UConn sweat it for as long as that. I don't think so either. I don't think I see that going. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't. I think that's going to be. I think UConn's coming to play, and get her done. And what did I see here? Okay, so Duke Cooper Flagg ended his high school career 16 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 8 rebounds, 6 blocks. Monteverde finished 33-0, won a national championship. Bill Simmons, who is Bill Simmons, thinks he's going to be the best college freshman since Kevin Durant. He said he's 75% KG, 20% KD, 5%. Kevin 75% Kevin Garnett, who didn't play any college, 20% KD, 5% Duncan. Start Tenkapalooza 2025 now. No pressure on the kid. I mean, no pressure at all. And Bama, Grant Nelson's going to be with Nate Oates to evaluate his NBA draft. They'll have to figure that out. And I love that Barkley went up to Mark Sears after he walked off the court after the loss to UConn and went and talked to him as he walked. I thought that was a classy move. Kim Caldwell, I thought they were going to go after Kara Lawson from Duke. I guess that wasn't in the cards. So Kim Caldwell is going to be the next head coach announced tomorrow for Tennessee. She was a head coach at Marshall. She went 17-1 in the conference, 26-7 overall first year, an improvement over a 17-14 season. She was the 2024 Spalding Maggie Dixon. Maggie Dixon was the Army coach who died of a brain aneurysm, very young in her 20s. I still remember that. Division I Rookie Coach of the Year honor. She was given the Pat Summitt Trophy given annually at the Women's Basketball Coaches Association. Mr. Greatness has joined us. Mr. Greatness, if you want to talk about something, please bring it on. She was National Coach of the Year in each of the 5 membership divisions following the 2021-22 season when she led Glenville State to its first ever D2 National Championship. She was 77 years at Glenville State, 191-24. 191-24. I would say that's a pretty good run. Yankees, Cole is going to throw a rehab this week. Set to begin playing catch this week. Would be eligible to return on May 27th. Jerry Grote passed away, the starting catcher for the Mets 1969 championship team, died from respiratory failure during a heart procedure. His wife Cheryl announced on Facebook he was 81 on Sunday. He was a member of the Mets 69 championship team, the 73 team that won the pennant. Spent the majority of his 16-year career with the Mets from 66 until he was traded to the Dodgers in 77. One of the best defensive catchers in baseball. 2 All-Star teams with the Mets in 68 and 74. All-time leader in Mets franchise history for games caught by a catcher. Wow. Yeah. He was Grote had been lauded with his ability to work with and catch some of the best pitchers in Mets history, including Tom Seaver, Nolan Ryan, Jerry Koosman, and Tug McGraw. Koosman said he was great to work with. Yeah, they won 100 games 1 year after winning a franchise best 73 and 68. Interview with the Post in 2009, he said he believed the ball club could do the unthinkable back in spring training. I felt we had the pitching and the defense. All we needed was that one more person. He said if he was on the same team as Grote, he would have to play third base and Grote would be back. That's what Johnny Bench said about Grote, that he would play third base. He wouldn't catch, that Grote would have caught ahead of him. He made his debut in 20 and 63 and finished his stints on the Dodgers and Royals in 81, 1,421 games, 1,092 hits, 252 batting average. He's in the Texas Baseball Hall of Fame in 1991 and the Mets Hall of Fame in 92. Yeah. I didn't know anything about him. I'll be honest with you. I love when I read this stuff and I'm like, shit, man, this is before my time. And I know Bumbles would know about this and he would talk about it, but yeah. And we talked about this, Tommy and Saul and I, about the pitching and about the velocity and all that stuff. Well, Verlander had something to say about it, with all the Tommy Johns. Laurie Alexander asked him about the rash of injuries. He called it a pandemic, Verlander. He said, I think the game has changed a lot. It would be easiest to blame the pitch clock. In reality, everything has a little bit of influence. The biggest thing is the style of pitching has changed so much. Everyone was throwing as hard as they possibly can and spinning the ball as hard as they possibly can. It's a double-edged sword. I don't have all the answers. When the ball started to change back in 2016 and started flying out, it changed how I had to approach pitching. I wanted swing and missed. I don't know. I don't know how we rewind the clock. The trickle down permeates all the way to Little League. I just hope that we don't wait too long. It's a pandemic and it's going to take years to work itself out. So interesting. Balls went out. So you're trying to throw the ball by the person, which means you're throwing it harder, spinning it more, putting more strain on the arm, and now you have all the Tommy John injuries. And the kids got to throw hard. Scouts won't look at you. Got to be 98, 99. Well, you can't keep throwing that way all the time because eventually, like, what Tommy said, the ligaments, they fray. Think about it. Think about your body in general. Think about, now I am 54, I'll be 55. Man, I walk down the steps and my knee all of a sudden, and I get like a sharp pain, like somebody put a knife in my back. Think about it. You are on tires that never get replaced. These are your tires. And every day, you are putting wear and tear on this body. So think about pitching at that speed over and over and over again. Nothing good comes out of it. Some guys just have better genetics, better musculature, I don't know. It's amazing how some guys never, Walter Payton never got hurt. Eli Manning played all those consecutive games. Daniel Jones can't stay in the field. There's guys who constantly get hurt. Their bodies are different. Their bodies react. Brett Favre would, on a Monday, they say he's not playing. He's out on the field on Sunday after a game. There's no way he's playing next week. There's just different genetics of different players, but it's amazing how many, and he's got a point there. And they're going to have to do something or else it's going to be a problem. And Tommy's thoughts on that were all good. Old MLB fucking around with the balls because they had to outlaw steroids. And everything in baseball is a delayed response because guys take a few years to come up through the minors. And now you're paying for it. Yeah, you're paying for it a lot. And MLB has reversed Nolan Shanell's single on 330 at Baltimore to a miscatch error. So his on-base streak ends at 30, which is the third longest streak all time to begin an MLB career, which I thought one of the two longer streaks that this is from Matt Birch. Well, the first one was from the Angels. This one's from Matt Birch. One of the two longer streaks that Shanuel was trying to beat Truck Hanna, 1980 Yankees, who also lost his streak, reaching on an error. And Hanna's 38-game streak was snapped on June 13, 1918, when his only at-bat came as a ninth-inning pitch hitter, and he reached as an error. So that 38 ended there. And how about Ronel Blanco, 44 consecutive outs without allowing a hit, starting pitcher since 1990. Max Scherzer had 52 in 2015. Gooden had 51 in 96. That's how it start. How about this? Braves. Look at this. Braves league rank in runs scored by game segment. Innings 1 through 3, they've scored 14. That's tied for 17th. Innings 4 through 6, 16 runs scored. 7th. Innings 7 through 9, 25 first. Thank you, Sean Coleman. It's not how you start. It's not how you are in the middle. It's how you finish. That thought was interesting. And Strasburg finally announced he's retiring, so he gets to keep all that money. We'll see what happens on that front. So Knicks with most games of 8+ made three-pointers in the season. Randall with 4 last year, and DiVincenzo with 3 this year, and J.R. Smith with 3 in 2013-14. The Strickland I follow. We were having a nice talk. I said you think they'll catch the 2. So the Strickland, I'll give you some shout out today. The 2-3 seeds remain alive after the win. They said it doesn't look comfortable shooting, but holy shit, his defense is amazing. Tibbs going to an 8-man rotation and making Deuce, Dante, Bojan, OG, Mitch. The bench unit was huge. 43 and 8 home for Jalen Brunson. And that's the thing, too. Rob was saying, I think he likes the matchup. He likes Mitch and OG out there together. And yeah, it's going to be good. And the Cavs blew a 26-point lead to the Clippers. 26-point lead. How do you do that shit? Yeah, and Giannis was questionable. He was playing. Come on, please. Yeah, and Tibbs has done a great job. So the Nets, and there was something about is Tibbs. Yeah, Tibbs doesn't go anywhere. Come on, what he's done with this team, you got to see what he can do next year with a healthy team. No, he's not going anywhere. The Nets outscored the Kings 24-13 in the third. They were down 78-64. cut the deficit to 14. 13 points were the fewest they surrendered at any quarter. Well, the fourth quarter, they got outscored 29-13 and lost by 30. So, hey, nice going, guys. Great third quarter, blown out the fourth quarter. They suck. Sabonis got a 61st straight double-double, 18 points, 20 rebounds, double-doubles in 61 games. Jesus Christ, man. Unbelievable. They're 45-33. The Nets fell to 31-48. T-Wolves beat the Lakers by 10. 4-game winning streak snapped. They dropped to 45-34, which is crazy. That with that record, they'd be the 5th seed. Right now, they're in the play-in tournament. No LeBron and lost AD after the first quarter. Tuesday's game versus Golden State will determine the tiebreaker and if the Warriors can catch the Lakers. So that's tomorrow night. And the T-Wolves only second time got a top 3 seed. And D'Angelo Russell only 13 points a game against the T-Wolves. He's 1 for 3. Grizzlies retired Marc Gasol's jersey. That was a pretty good one. Now, this is, we talk about the Hall of Fame. Michael Cooper never made an NBA All-Star game. Made the Hall of Fame. People complain about Scott Rowland getting into Cooperstown. Well, he was only a 5-time NBA champ, 8-time All-Defense, and a 1986-87 Kia NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Who gives a shit about an All-Star? Michael Cooper was a hell of a basketball player. And you know what? You don't win championships without Coop. And he had that awesome... No, that was Jamal. Was that Jamal Wilkes? Coop was it, man. I love Cooper. I loved him. Oh, he was great. And the Heat lost to Indiana. It's going to be an uphill climb to avoid the play-in game. Bad loss. Eric Spoelstra did not look happy. They might instead of going from a 6th seed and a matchup against the Cavs to a play-in tournament, we'll see what happens. Clippers won their 50th game, means they clinch a better record than the Lakers. 6th time this season they came all the way back. Paul George this season has been in the clutch. 76 points, 49% shooting, 40 from 3, 94% free throws, and 72% true shooting. I mean, listen, 26 down. Cavs were 18-2. What did I say? They are 28-31 since. Yeah, Trey Mann yesterday had 18 points, a rebound, 2 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks, 7 for 7 from the field, 3 for 3 from 3. He's the first player, I got those numbers wrong, 18-5, 6-4-2 without missing a field goal. The first player in the steal and block era, 73-74 to do that. Josh Giddey got his 11th triple-double. They snapped a 3-game losing streak. They are now 53-25. The Hornets are 19-59. And the Suns remain 6th in the West with a head-to-head tiebreaker over the Pelicans. How about this? The Celtics are currently leading the conference by 15 games. That'd be the second largest margin by a conference winner since 1980. The 1992 Bulls won the East by 16 games. The Raptors won their first home game since March 3rd, snapped an 8-game home losing streak, their longest in Toronto since 2005. Thank you, Karthika Uthayakumar, for that one. And Golden State beat Utah, so they have clinched at least a spot in the 4-team play-in tournament before the game when Houston lost by 9 to Dallas. All right. And Sam Quinn, I think that they're not playing to lose, but he said, I'm sure they'd rather face the depleted Kings in the 9-10 game than the Red Hot Lakers. And it's the first half of a back-to-back, so I don't think they're going to blow the game. I think they're going to play whoever they can. I just don't see that happening. Yeah, bullshit. I call bullshit. Now, this was kind of cool. This was very cool. They had a 50-50 raffle Saturday. Half of the money was donated to the slain NYPD detective Jonathan Diller, who was a super fan of the Islanders. Ticket number NN3280295 was pulled. 152,659 shortly before the Isles beat the Predators 2-0 at the UBS Arena. They announced earlier this week that the other half of the hefty purse would benefit Diller's widow, Stephanie, and the couple's 1-year-old son, Ryan, who were left behind when a career criminal shot and killed the detective last month during a routine traffic stop. Now, the second highest preceding raffle was 84,000 back in October. Yeah. They beat, and this is the first time they beat the Predators since 2017. I said that to James. Yeah. And the team hosts a 50-50 raffle at almost every game, whether at home or away, to benefit charities ranging from Tunnel to Towers, which I told Michigan I want to run. Maybe I could get someone to run with me. Maybe Rob will run it. To Alzheimer's Association. Oilers are. I just thought that was great. I mean, I thought to come together for something like that for a cop who's making a routine traffic stop, you got to respect the men in blue. You have to. Law enforcement. I don't give a shit what you think. To defund the police. Fuck that shit. What do you got? Vigilantes walking around like in freaking what was that movie with what's his Charles? What's the vigilante movie? Damn, I'm blanking on that movie. Vigilante movie. What was the vigilante movie? Charles Bronson. Vigilante movie. Charles Bronson. Death Wish. What, we got Death Wish all over the fucking city? Are you kidding me? Yeah, great cause. Great fucking cause. And Oilers three points back of Vancouver for first in the Pacific. I mean, it's coming down the last day. Minnesota has scored 90 points, 90 goals last 30 games. Out of those 90s, Kirill Kaprizov has scored 23 of the 90 last 30 games, assisted on 24, so that's 47, been on the ice for 59 of them. Talk about, wow. And Jesper Wallstedt became the second Minnesota Wild goaltender to record his first career shutout in 2 appearances or fewer. And Alex Newhook, 30th point of the season, matched his total in 82 games last year, 3 shy of his career high, 33 in 71 games as a rookie. He's done that in 50 games. He had 33 points in 71 games. Yeah. As a rookie. Listen, getting it done. So Stars are at 107 with the Bruins behind the Rangers. Now, Michigan sent me this one, and I thought, okay, only 9 players in CHL history have been graded at exceptional status. But 14-year-old Landon DuPont is joining that club as he aims to take the next step. 14 years old. On Monday in Calgary, DuPont will become just the 9th player and 3rd defenseman to be granted exceptional status. Connor Bedard is the only other player to be given the status in the WHL. DuPont is likely to be the first overall pick by the Everett Silvertips on May 9th when the league holds their annual prospects draft. He's 5'11", 170, born in Calgary. His father, Mickey, played over 350 games at the AHL level, and had a few stints in the NHL. He played 23 games. Mickey went on to play in Germany and Switzerland to finish off his pro career. Landon played minor hockey with the Eisbären Juniors Berlin program before coming back to Canada. He's been playing with the Edge Hockey program out west, playing in the under 18. He's 14 this season, and leading the squad in scoring with 62 points in 30 games. Good for 3rd in the CCHL under 18 scoring, behind 2 17-year-old forwards who both had 64 points. He had 16 points in 5 playoff games. He has dominated players up to 3 years older than him. Puck Preps is an excellent source of scouting reports and knowledge for players heading into their CHL draft years or looking to take the NCAA route. Joel Henderson, the director of scouting at Puck Preps, has been following DuPont's development for the last couple of years. He said, he's just one of those players who can go a mile if you give him an inch. He's already so advanced tactically. His IQ is really high and his skating is powerful. They said the skating is the biggest differentiating factor between him and his competition. He has a powerful stride that allows him to create separation seamlessly. He moves well in all 4 directions, which is a trait all the best defensemen across hockey have. He's been compared to Bowen Byram, who plays on the Sabres. And he's just so much stronger and advanced compared to where Byram was at the same age, describes Henderson. If he continues to be aggressive, he could be Byram plus. If he stagnates and loses his controlling edge and motion, then he could still end up like Carson Lambos. They said the ceiling, I love when they do the ceiling shit. They said Byram and Lambos are both highly touted NHL prospects who have played prominent roles at the WHL level and won gold at the World Junior Championships in Canada. He should probably be even more selfish than he is. He sets up everyone with prime opportunities a lot, says Henderson. I mean, this is just amazing. Yeah. 2 guys, Aaron Ekblad went number 1. He went first overall 2014. Since then, he's been a pillar for the Panthers. Sean Day, had a tougher time in the OHL. Couple off-ice situations involving family that affected him greatly. He went to 3rd round of the Rangers. Been solid AHL career. He could cross the 300 game mark. So that's the thing. Listen, he'll be able to play in the WHL at 15 years old, just as Bedard and 7 other players across the CHL. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. They're very interesting. I thought that was great. Yeah, I saw that article. I said, that's pretty freaking cool, man. That is really cool. I like that a lot. And Carolina Panthers have raised season ticket prices. Yeah. And John Jones says, wanted to address some misinformation. I woke up with false reports that I've been arrested. I've not been arrested. In fact, I'm currently in Texas with my daughters at a volleyball tournament. He said he wants to clarify some things. I was recently visited by testers while celebrating a birthday and taking a nap. Upon waking up, I was caught off guard by the unprofessionalism and protocol by one of the testers, which caused frustration, leading me to use some profanity I regret. However, I want to emphasize that at no point did I threaten, get in anyone's face, raise my voice to anyone, or engage in any form of assault. It's unfortunate that false news has been spread without proper fact checking. I want to assure you that I will vigorously defend myself against these baseless accusations. The truth is, the incident simply did not occur. Okay, dude, apologize. My bad. I was hoping it wasn't, because I was like, dude, you've had a lot of train wrecks lately. So it's nice to know that it's kind of quiet, which is a good thing. And this is pretty cool. Katie Pascal, 300 career point, most ever. First player to reach that for Albany women's lacrosse. Oh, okay, so this is good. Okay, so I found this at the Post. Countries for singles looking to mingle. The 10 most promiscuous countries are Turkey. The average person sleeps with 15 people. Australia, they sleep with 13. New Zealand, 13. Iceland, 13. South Africa, 12 and a half. Finland, 12. Norway, 12. Italy, 12, 11.8. Sweden, 11.8. And Switzerland, 11. The average American slept with 10.7 people over the course of their lifetime. China and India, 3 people, average person slept with 3 people each in their lifetime. So, if you're looking to have a good time, go to Turkey, Australia, New Zealand, Iceland, South Africa, Finland, Norway. I was on plane with people from Norway. Yeah, I would say Norway, Italy, Sweden, and I will actually be in Switzerland with Michigan, of course. But I will keep my eyes out for all my single guys like Saul and well, Tommy's not single, but Aaron, Concert Aaron is single. So I will keep my eyes looking for you guys, and hopefully something good comes out of it. What am I missing here? Is that a picture? Did you take a picture? I don't know. Is that an actual picture? Is that an actual picture? My cousin Hal sent me a picture of the solar eclipse. I was doing a show, dude, but thank you. Congrats. I hope you enjoyed it. Yes. Oh, what did Michigan sent me something? A reel by Shaq. Okay, what is this? That's hilarious. My girlfriend has a good sense of humor. Very good. Got on the show. That's hilarious. Michigan, that's awesome. Very funny. She'll be, yeah, that's good. Nick's fine. 20. What time you going to? I'm done, dude. Oh, you want to come on? Yeah, I'm done. We'll get you on. Why, you wanted to come on? You didn't say anything. I would have brought you on. Oh, great. So Bianca Sensori wearing completely sheer. Wonderful. Yeah. All right. Let me get, did I miss anything else? Yeah, she's always wearing see-through outfits. No basketball today is a real shame, gotta say. Well, hey, because of the NCAA tournament. Come on. What are you kidding about? You got Yankees and Mets. Florida guard Walter Clayton is entering the draft while maintaining his college eligibility. I'm telling you, this year they're going to be going through this. So what is this? Chris Mullin literally mentioned the Orlando Clay thing on a Warriors postgame show, and he's far from the first one to discuss. They've also been tied to Malik Monk for some reason. People around the league have been talking about the I realize you blame me for this, but why wouldn't the Magic look at making an offer for Clay? Have you seen how much they need shooting? All right, I guess we'll see. Saving Sumter Strays. What's up? How you doing there? Yeah. New York Stars watching. What were they watching? Wrestling? Oh, watching the eclipse. Dude, do I care? Do I care about all these people? Oh, so Nike teasing Wemby sneakers? Is that what they're doing with the eclipse? Oh, for the new Wemby logo. It looks like a spaceship, dude. Oh, I know they call him. Well, they call him Spaceman. Yeah, yeah. All right. Did I miss anything else? I don't think so. So Wemby, yeah, yeah. So I missed the eclipse. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything else. Let me see. Did I miss anything else? Let's see if I missed anything. I've only been talking an hour and a half. Yes. So same thing. NAI bans trans athletes from women's sports. Calipari for UK's Bradshaw, UConn takes steps. Oh, they want to prevent vandalism. Bieber emotional discussing Rom calls for LIV to play 72 hole tournaments. They should. They play 54. Arizona big man Ballo ends their transfer portal. What was the transfer portal? So I always want to see what these guys did. Omar Ballo, 14 points. Yeah. Hey, listen, they didn't do anything. Okay. Good for them. Good for them. I went through all my pictures, right? Yes. Solar eclipse. Yeah, they were compared. Richard Deitch said, just me. Caitlin Clark is an all-time women's college basketball great, whether she won a title or not. There's so many things out of players' control. Erling Haaland will never win a World Cup. You're really going to think differently of him as a player, because that's one guy wrote, well, actually, he's won a Champions League and EPL titles. Better soccer analogy would be Harry Kane hasn't won a Singer Trophy, or Steve Nash. Yes, I am, Richard Deitch. You got to win. In my opinion, you got to win a championship. And Deja Kelly's entering the transfer portal from UNC. Not good. Minus 120 to 39% of the bets on the Gamecocks. If you started with $100 last year and rolled it over every Huskies tournament game, you'd have six figures by now. Yep. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, but you didn't. So shut the fuck up. All that stuff, bullshit. And you talked about him. That's already a trivia question. The Pelicans, Suns remaining schedule: Tuesday at Clippers, Tuesday at Clippers, Tuesday home for Clippers, Wednesday at Clippers, Friday at Kings, Sunday at Timberwolves. Pelicans, Tuesday at Trailblazers, Thursday at Kings, Friday at Warriors, Sunday home. So they got 3 straight road games and then a home. Ish. I'm going to go with the Suns on that little run. Yeah. So and they have the tiebreaker. Yes. Oh yes. Sell at 18,300. Christmas Day is going to be awesome. Attendance record. Raven Johnson played her ass off. Portland is not a good team. No. Not even close. Cavs blew a 26-point lead. How do you blow a 26-point lead, guys? How do you blow a 26-point lead? And they said that Freddie Reedy, after he's the director of player development, after the game on Friday, had a good talk with the team to get them ready for the tournament. So Sue and Diana, Tarasi and Birds, keys for Iowa beating South Carolina. They kept the turnovers down. 3-point shooting wasn't bad. Field goal percentage, but you're not winning any game when you're outscored 37-0. Bench points. I mean, it's just not going to happen. I mean, you lose that game, it's over, folks. It's over. It's not happening. It just, no. I want to get Katie Pascal on my show. And in the Bama UConn game, there were 4 runs. Alabama had two 7-0 runs, and UConn had a 7-0 and 8-0 run. I mean, crazy, right? That's crazy. That's craziness. We went out for dinner on that was cool. Rangers going, yeah. And Dawn Staley says, if you consider yourself a woman and you want to play sports or vice versa, you should be able to play on transgender women playing women's college. I still think if she was playing against, she says yes. But if it's on I wonder if she's playing against that woman, if she'd feel the same way. I do. That's me. I just don't know if the reaction is going to be how everybody's going to feel in that respect. I just don't know. But it's that she supports it, especially a big name, and she's the biggest name right now in women's sports. I would say just won a third natty, putting her in an exclusive group. I would say, and she's not slowing down. I mean, I don't think she's going to catch Oriema, but she could go on a run here and have a nice little. We'll see what happens. All right, trivia question. Last show trivia question. Okay, who were the last 3 Ranger teammates to score 30-plus goals in the same season? Who were the last 3 Ranger teammates to score 30 plus goals in the same season? It was a trivia question last night, guys. So does anybody know? Does anybody have an answer? So I switched it up now so that my Instagram and YouTube, and this is going to work better. So if someone wants to come on, I don't have to do any really crazy switch. I can just put them on and we can go from there. All right, guys, I've had enough. It's 4:45. I'm beat. Thank you all for listening to the show today. Mr. Greatness, I would have liked a little more participation. Saul did. Saul talked to me, which I love. We had Billy on. We had Dominic. We had Bumbles. We had Sam. We had Saul. We had Josh. Good day. I don't think he knows the answer. Yes, do you have the answer there? Oh, and Matt has joined us. Matt, how you doing? He talked, quiet today. All right. Anybody have the answer for the last 3 Ranger teammates to score 30 plus goals in the same season? It was the trivia question during yesterday's game. Great show. Thank you so much. David Muir. Who's David Muir? Wait. Who is David Muir? Who is David Muir? Is that who is that guy, dude? I mean, I appreciate it, but who's that? Oh, you missed last night's trivia? David. Well, that was Saturday, dude. David. Oh, you like David Muir? Yeah, I like him. He's kind of a bad. Yeah, guy in Channel 7. Thank you. All right. So, last show's trivia was shit. All right, let me give it to you. Last show's trivia question was 3 players had won 11 titles at any Grand Slam event, and 11 titles at a Grand Slam event. That was last show's, and yes, there are 2 men and 1 woman have won at least 11 titles at one Grand Slam event. That was the trivia question. It was yesterday, so nobody's got in the one for today. Saul, if you wanted to come on, I thought you didn't send a request or anything. So, you were just listening. You just got to say, and I kept checking my phone to see if you wanted to come on. You were listening, so I was like, all right. That doesn't even, my cousin Hal sent me a picture from the eclipse. It doesn't even look like a real eclipse. I don't know if Michigan went outside. Did you go watch? I wonder if she went, did you go watch? Yeah. All right. Guys, ladies, and gentlemen, have a super day. Love you all. Adios.